here so that I can send this to everybody for those that, like I said, that weren't able to join us this morning. But good morning to all you guys. It's very good to see you guys in person. It's been a while. But just to start us off this morning, before I really get going on our update, Mr. Hill would just like to address everybody. So I'll turn it over to you, John.
Thank you, Josh. And in case you didn't know, my office had a little roof leak this summer. And, you know, here in Union County, we don't waste taxpayer dollars. So this is the newly remodeled Union County Board office. Jay, we don't have the fancy digs that you do at Snap-on Tools. So really looking forward to getting over there around some classy folks tomorrow and taking a little tour. And we don't want to take up a bunch of your time, but we're excited about it. Very excited to be meeting with you guys today and talk a little bit about our Career Academy. You know, the more that we get into the planning and implementation phase, the more excited I get about what the ability that this Career Academy has to offer for our kids and for our employers and overall for our whole region, the economic development of Northeast Georgia and Western North Carolina. So we couldn't have better board members, we couldn't have better partners, and we couldn't have better educators than we do involved in this process. So thank you guys mostly for your time. I know everyone on here is super busy. Our secondary partners, thank you very much for being here. And Kevin, thank you from the hospital, and Steve for being on here, and Jay. So, you know, as we move forward, we'll try to not take up too much of your time, but we really do want to have your input and guidance on which path we should move going forward, just to kind of bring you up to speed. We've been doing some preliminary brainstorming ideas for our facility, grant money, what we're going to do with it. We're actually in the process of interviewing architectural firms now. We have some more interviews later today and Thursday. So we can, you know, we can begin the process of the actual building addition. But the implementation phase, regardless of the status of where our building is next year, we would like to go live with the Career Academy. And we can do that without additional square footage. We can make this happen. It's more of the educational process that we'll be providing, the experience we'll be providing the students. And so we're really excited about that. We're hoping Kevin has got a lot of vaccines on hand for the COVID-19 so we can get things back closer to business as normal. Thank you for your time. Josh, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm going to share my screen, guys. I just created a presentation just to kind of give us some a visual to look at. So let me share this. Can everybody see that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I just looked at my calendar, and just to kind of start things off, November 21st last year is when we took the big group down to Atlanta to present to the Technical College System of Georgia. And so it's almost been a full year since I've seen some of you guys. And I know we did a little work after that. We did some work to get our bylaws in place. But the whole COVID situation really, I guess, just pushed the pause button for us for a while. But since we've been back in school, since we got the word that we were getting that grant in the summer, we've really been trying to start moving forward with our, you know, our plans and everything, our ideas that we had put so much time into last fall. So those bylaws that we created, just in case, I'm not sure if everybody knows this or not, but they were approved by our Board of Education in February of this year. And so with that being approved before the whole COVID thing happened, we were looking at getting this governing board up and running by March or April of this year. And so obviously that didn't happen, but we are very thankful that all of you guys are on board and we have our governing board in place now. Just for those that might not know who all is serving on our governing board, we have 15 voting members, and the bylaws call for the majority of these voting members to be from our business and industry folks. And so you see everybody listed here, and then also the bylaws call for our post-secondary partners to have a voting member present. So these are all of our voting members. We also have 10 non-voting ex officio members, and these are all those folks. And so as you'll see, the bylaws did not call for, and this will be one of the first amendments to the bylaws that we are going to ask that our governing board make, that we include the superintendents from our partnering districts as ex officio members, because we really want them to have a voice on this board in the direction of the Career Academy. Because like we've said all along, this is not Union County Schools Career Academy. This is our region's community career academy. So we want those folks to have a voice. And so we went ahead and I included them in this list because we really hope that the governing board will approve that. So so a little bit more on our facilities. Like Mr. Hill said, we have been in some preliminary discussions and planning regarding these facilities. And obviously we're going to continue that process, but all of this will be coming through the governing board for approval, for advice, for all of those things that we really hope we can get from y'all's expertise. Just so I can kind of walk you through where we're at currently, the $3 million grant is strictly for facilities. And so all of those dollars have to be spent on either renovations or additions, anything to do with facilities. There's also a cash award that's a piece of this whole grant process, and that's about $75,000. And that interview next week on November 19th, they'll probably give us some more details on that. But that $75,000 cash award we have a little bit more freedom on what we can spend that on. We've talked about possibly paying for the architect fees and things like that. But again, we will be looking for guidance and everything from our governing board on that. We are, like Mr. Hill said, we're currently interviewing architects. We interviewed 2 architect firms last week. We'll be interviewing 3 more this week, and possibly presenting some things at our Board of Education next week. So couple things about our Career Academy. I know some of you have visited Career Academies with me last year around the state. Our Career Academy will look a little bit different from some of the others. I'm not sure I visited so many, to be honest with you. There are some that are more of a campus layout. The majority of the ones we visited, though, are just a single building, standalone building. Ours will have more of a campus effect. If you look at the picture on the screen here, our C wing, which is, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor here, but I'm circling it right now. We renovated our C wing. That's where we have all our meetings in that multi-purpose room. But we renovated that a few years ago in fiscal year 18. And we added our healthcare facility, a lot of nice areas. We actually renovated and created a sports medicine program, but that also houses our entrepreneurship program, our agriculture program, and of course our agriculture program also has the Agri-Science Center, which is off campus, but that will also be part of this. And that C wing also has our computer science program. So there are some minor renovations that we might do in a couple of those rooms that didn't get touched a few years ago. But for the most part, that building is ready to go and plenty of space and just ready to go as far as our plans are concerned. The yellow circled area is the area where we will be putting our the $3 million into. This is the building that's in that area is our current vocational building, and currently it houses our engineering, automotive, that manufacturing lab, our construction lab, and our welding lab. And so when that building was built, I believe in 2002, 2003, it was built for the size of the school at that time. And so as the school has grown, we have really outgrown that building, especially with the amount of programs that are in that building. So our idea is to build a new building across that little road there on that big grass area to house the construction and automotive programs, and then renovate the current building and bring it up to current standards and all that, industry standards and all that. And for that building to be our welding and manufacturing and engineering building. So what this will do, what this will accomplish for the programs is pretty much double the space that they currently have regarding their classroom and lab space. It'll give ample room. We'll be able to create storage, which is very much lacking right now in that building for these programs. We'll have outdoor covered areas for all the programs to work and operate with. So it'll be very nice and a very good addition for all of these programs. So that's where we're at currently with our facilities plan. Here's some just preliminary layouts. You see the picture on the left-hand side there. That's just the overhead shot of that circled area that I was just showing you. And then these are just, this was a sketch that actually our construction teacher, Charlie Katnack, created this past weekend as we just have been trying to wrap our heads around what this new facility will look like. But as you see, we want ample outdoor work area, especially for that construction program. We plan to begin building those homes for Habitat for Humanity initially, and then also expanding eventually into building some tiny homes so that kids get the full experience of the finishing work, because the Habitat homes, once we get the sheetrock hung in those, they'll be moved to their site, and then the Habitat for Humanity folks would finish those. But if we start building some tiny homes, our kids will get the full experience of all the finishing work and everything that goes into those, and also will make the program profitable. And that's one goal for all of our programs, is to become profitable and actually do live real work for the kids. So, and I'll give some time at the end just so everybody knows for some questions and comments and things. So please, if you have some, just jot them down and we'll give that time at the end here. So a tentative timeline for this picture actually is just a close up of the classrooms and some of the areas that from those sketches that Charlie did. But we're looking at possibly, and of course, like I say, let me stress this is tentative, because with school buildings, you've got to go through a whole process with submitting all your plans to the state for approval and all of that. So that can get a little time consuming, but tentatively, we would like to begin building that new facility sometime next fall, and hopefully to have the new facility completed by that following spring or early summer, so that we can then renovate the current vocational building during that summer, so that we hopefully don't have to displace students within those programs at all. We're hoping, if our timeline holds true. So and then the hope would be that all of the construction for that would be completed in fall of 2022. So again, that's a tentative timeline, but we hope that's kind of what our thought process is currently. A little bit on the curriculum side of things. When we've been discussing all of the things regarding the Career Academy, there's really three different aspects to it. There's the facility side that we're planning for and looking at. Then there's also the curriculum side, because I know through our talks last fall, there was a lot of discussion about curriculum and how we can really change the way we teach students at the high school level. So that's a piece of it. And then the third piece is the whole regional aspect and making sure that we're including the entire region. So with the curriculum development, we had a lot of conversations last year regarding this, but we've really started meeting with some teachers that will be a key to this entire thing, and making it or implementing it the way we had discussed and feel that the direction we should go. So with those academies and the facilities layout that I just was showing you, we really have a building that is dedicated to your applied sciences. When you think about it, you're talking about your agriculture, computer science, healthcare, STEM, entrepreneurship, those programs that are really applied sciences. And then we're going to have an area that's really focused on your skilled trades. And so when we wrote the grant last year, I called them our two different academies. Whether we call them that or not, that'll be something the governing board can decide, and we can discuss later. But I just wanted to kind of, as a refresh, I guess, to all of y'all, remind you that we kind of have those different areas. We also talked a lot last year about wall-to-wall instruction, which is combining your academic and CTAE curriculum. And so with that, we visited a lot of different programs and things last year. Me and Mr. Hushin, the high school principal, actually went to Nashville because the academies of Nashville are nationally known for implementing this wall-to-wall instruction. And we did that literally 2 days, but we got back from Nashville, and within 2 days, the school district was closed for the remainder of the school year. So, but while we were up there, we got to see a lot of the operational side of that and scheduling and different things, which was really beneficial to us and eye-opening. And we really feel like that we can move towards this direction without even having to hire additional staff. Our current STEM program actually implements wall-to-wall instruction, where they teach, just an example, they teach engineering and geometry at the same time in the same classroom. And so that's the idea, and I guess the model we're kind of looking at to implement throughout all of these programs. So students would get academic curriculum in the automotive or the construction or any of these labs, healthcare, science. And really what that does is, number one, it will kind of accelerate the students being able to complete their academics and their CTAE pathways. And then that opens up towards the end of their high school years, during their junior and senior year. It opens up them for work-based learning opportunities or for dual enrollment opportunities related to whatever their career goal is. And so it really opens up a lot of different opportunities for them, but it also makes those connections with the academics to their areas of interest. So that's the big piece. Also, we're talking about, as we've discussed with many of you guys, the importance of teaching business and entrepreneurship skills to all students. And this is actually something that the state Georgia Department of Education is looking at within CTAE, but they're looking at it a totally different way. We want to teach students the business of whatever it is, whatever program it is that they are interested in and involved in. So, for instance, let's just use automotive again. Automotive students would learn the business aspect of running a auto mechanic shop. And construction students would learn the business aspect of running a construction crew. Now, do we think every single student's going to graduate here and become a business owner or an entrepreneur or whatever? No, and that's fine. But it's very important for every one of our students to understand that business aspect behind whatever their career goal is. And the reason it's important, and all of you guys know that because you're leaders in your business and industry, just having employees that grasp, who your customers are, who, the financial piece of it is just very important. And so we're very passionate about that, and we're going to make that happen as well. I mentioned again, student certifications. We're going to continue with the certifications we currently offer. We offer our healthcare students CNA certifications. Our welding students get some of them they have the opportunity to complete the AWS certification. And we're going to continue offering as many of those professional certifications as we can. However, we also want to develop just some local certifications for these students. And this is where a lot of our governing board will come into play in helping us develop what it is that we could graduate students and they could come right to work for you, and they would have this local certification. And they're not going to be experts in whatever, but the more and more folks we talk to, they say, heck yeah, I would hire them. If there's a student that, you know, is wanting to go into heavy equipment operating, and they have the basic knowledge of, you know, changing the fluids or whatever it is, and they can go out and apply for a job, they will probably be hired over someone just walking in off the street. So again, those local certifications, we feel like can really boost our students and give and really boost the workforce for you guys. And so again, these are all things that we'll continue to develop, and we want your guidance on every piece of this. I mentioned dual enrollment and work-based learning opportunities. Through that accelerated academics and CTA pathway completion, we will be able to offer more of these opportunities. This program of study image on the side here, I just pulled this off the Georgia Department of Education website. This is just a template that they use. However, I think we could create our own template for this college and career academy so that we could provide every student with an individualized program of study, and it's a backwards design here. So you're looking at, okay, what is your end goal for every single student? What is your career goal? What is your end goal? And how do you get there? Do you need to go through a 4-year college program to get there? Do you need to go to technical school? Can you get the training right here at this career academy to begin that career while you continue training somewhere else? So every student that comes to us at the high school level, we have to realize is going to have individual needs and individual goals. And so we feel like that if we can create some type of program of study for these kids, and again, this is just a template because I just wanted something to show you guys, but we just feel that's important to set them on a path. When they get here in 9th grade, they know what they need to accomplish along the way to get to those goals. So, so again, with those accelerated academics, we really feel like that's going to open up more opportunities for the dual enrollment, for work-based learning once they get to their junior and senior year, to really get them ahead before they graduate and leave us here and continue on with their education or go straight to work. So the regional implementation, this is the last piece I'm going to cover. So again, we are full throttle going for this regional approach. We did meet with Cherokee County, MEC, and Towns County last year in January. Those superintendents are on board with this, and we were actually, when we were having those discussions, we were planning, and I sent them all of the program offerings that we had, and we were planning to register some of their students and begin this fall. And then COVID hit, and we you know, had to drop back and punt, so to speak. And so the plan is right now to offer those programs to all the students in the region beginning next fall. Some of the actual conversations with those superintendents were very beneficial and really kind of made us take a different look at how we could make that happen. And some of their ideas were, well, could we, you know, provide some of the curriculum in an online virtual format, and then they just come over for a couple days a week to complete the lab time. And that was a great idea. We thought, and it would really save on some of the travel time and those things. And so I put on here, it was funny, once COVID hit, we actually did get some benefits out of that, because all of our CTA teachers now have fully virtual curriculum. And so one of the benefits, if there is any of this COVID thing, is that all of our teachers had some professional development with providing their curriculum in an online format. And currently they're all offering a hybrid instructional model where some of their students are learning virtually and some are here in person. So really, moving forward with that model, I think it's going to be very doable, because again, all of our teachers have had that professional development through the last however many months it's been now. So that's awesome. But we will again be working with those partnering districts throughout this spring to get kids registered. We have no idea right now what the numbers will look like on that. But once we kind of begin working towards that, we'll have a better idea. But we're excited about that aspect of it, because we really have, after talking to those superintendents, we have all of our programs really that they feel like their students would be interested in. And there might be opportunities for Union County students to also complete programs in those other districts that we don't currently offer, like aviation is offered in Cherokee County. So those conversations were happening, and we are planning to get back to those very, very soon. So just a few updates on things to make sure you guys have on your calendars. I did talk to Frank. For those of you that remember Frank, he has been kind of our liaison from the technical college system, working with us this whole entire time. Really, he approached us after the grant process last year and said, hey, y'all rock this thing. We feel very confident that you'll get this the next go round. I'm going to work with you guys, if you'll let me, to make sure all your T's are crossed and I's are dotted, so to speak. And so Frank's been awesome. And I talked to him the other day, and he did tell me that governing board members the first year must complete 7 hours of training. You will get 2 of those hours next Thursday. And so next Thursday on November 19th, we will have our first official governing board meeting, training, here at the high school. And I sent that in the email. You can attend virtually or in person. Just please let me know. I know everybody had kind of let me know on that before, and then we had the hurricane come through, and we had to postpone that meeting. If you will just reply to that email and let me know if you'll be in person or virtual, that just will help me as far as planning for the social distancing and all of those things. But we do ask, if you're coming in person, to please wear a face mask. And if you don't have one, we will have some that we can provide for you. But the details of that meeting, it'll be from 10 a.m. to 1. We will provide lunch for everybody. I'm currently planning that and figuring out, the whole with the mitigation stuff, but we will have lunch. The final interview from the TCSG folks, they're coming, and we don't have to have a formal presentation this time like last year. They really just said it's basically going to be a discussion. They're going to talk to us about where we're at, where we've come from since last year, and kind of what they want to see moving forward. And then Frank will administer the governing board training from 11 to 1. And again, during that time, we will provide lunch. The next thing I just wanted to put on y'all's radar, if you're able to attend on December 1st I'm not exactly sure on the times yet, but I just put from 8 to 12 on here because I haven't received the actual times yet. Frank will have the times next week for you, because he's going to mention this as well, but I wanted to go ahead and put it on your radar. But this is a virtual event. It's the Lieutenant Governor's Business and Education Summit. And Frank said this will count towards your training hours if you're able to attend that meeting. And again, he'll give us more information next week on that. But that would pretty much take care of 5 of the 7 hours of training that we have to do. And I know we plan to attend that meeting as well. So so with that, does anybody have any questions or comments? Before we get to that, let me just say I really just wanted to give you guys an update. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and we was just going to wait until we got everybody together for that training session. But as that kind of kept getting pushed further, I hated that we're doing all these things that we're doing, and we haven't even reached out to you. So I do appreciate everybody logging on and being here this morning. And I did record this, so I'll send it out in an email to everybody as well that wasn't able to attend. But I will open it up if anybody has any questions or comments. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and we can just have a discussion.
I just wish you'd let me know this video was recorded, Josh, so I could have done something with my hair.
Well, I tricked you. Did anybody have anything? Questions, comments, or anything?
No.
Well, again, just thank you all for your willingness to serve on our governing board. We really couldn't do all this without you guys, and we're very excited to get this thing up and running with you all next week. And get the training, our first training session under our belts, and start really scheduling some monthly meetings where, because we really need y'all's input, need your feedback throughout this whole process, because you guys are the experts in your industries. Without you guys, we have no idea what to send out, as far as graduates. So we really are looking forward to working with you all throughout this coming year and getting this thing up and running. So if nobody does have any questions or comments, y'all have a great day, and we will see you next week.
Jay, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for your time.
Yes. Yep. Can't wait to have you.
Yes, sir.
Jay, real quick, just so you know, my daughter is quarantined actually, and so I am not going to be able to make it tomorrow. But Mr. Hill's coming with the team of teachers, and but I have to stay home with my daughter. My wife and I are swapping days currently while she's under quarantine. So her class got quarantined for a COVID incident. So, but
okay.
But I'll see you next week, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Josh. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a great day.
You too.